I'd like to welcome Lindsey Hovorka Peterson to our interview time. We're real glad that she's with us. Uh, Lindsey, when did you attend or graduate from Great Plains Academy, actually?
Yeah. So I graduated at Great Plains Academy in 2010. So I was the last year to graduate from Enterprise and Great Plains Academy.
All right. So, how many years did you attend? Did you attend all 4 years or part?
I was, yes, I was there all 4 years. My freshman, I was at Great Plains for 3 years.
Oh, okay. So, you were there with the uh, renaming of the academy from Enterprise to Great Plains.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Where did you work on campus?
So I had several jobs, but my freshman year, I was actually a janitor at in the girls' dorm, and
Oh,
I also was a secretary in the office. The same for my sophomore year, and then my junior, senior year, I actually was the yearbook editor. And at the time, it was a one-man show. So I created all of the yearbook, took pictures, everything. So it was a full-time job my junior and senior years. So,
so you did both years. Wow,
yep, both years. Yep.
that's very, very good. Um, what what made you decide that you wanted to come to Enterprise Academy?
So, uh, to be completely honest, I really didn't have the choice because um, I'm the fourth generation to go to Enterprise Academy. My great grandmother, Drusilla Schmidt Fox, graduated in 1937 from Enterprise. And then my grandmother and my mom and several of my cousins, aunts and uncles, my whole family practically. Ended up going to Enterprise. And so I was going to be the fourth generation. And so I ended up going and I was there for 4 years. And I am proud to be able to say that I was the fourth generation to graduate.
That is awesome. So basically, you knew that your stuff was going to be packed up and you were going to move to Enterprise, Kansas, and
Yep.
go to Academy. There was really no decision, right?
No discussion. Nope. It was, you're going.
Yeah. Well, when you were at Academy, uh, they talk a lot about Academy cafeteria food. Uh, by any chance, did you have a favorite meal at Enterprise?
I did. So I am a fan of macaroni and cheese, and I absolutely love it. And my cook at the time, Joy Moss, she was a fabulous cook. She actually does alumni food for us now, and she made really good pizza. So one day I was like, "Hey, would you be able to make a macaroni and cheese pizza for me?" And she was able to, and it was the best thing ever. And so every time we had pizza, if she had leftover macaroni and cheese, she would make me a personal macaroni and cheese pizza. And it was amazing.
Did anybody else try it?
There was a few, only a select few were able to, though, because I don't share
Oh,
macaroni and cheese with anybody. And so, yes,
there had to be a lot of macaroni and cheese left over for you to share it.
correct.
That's pretty good. Anyway, uh, did you have a favorite teacher? Does those teachers stand out that you had?
Yes, so I did actually have a really good teacher. His name was Mr. G, Mr. Gulliland. He actually ended up passing away a month ago, actually. But his father actually knew my great grandmother, and so I kind of had that connection with him when I first went to Enterprise. Just that, hey, you knew, or you had the family connection at some point. But then. Um, Mr. G was a guy that he had polio growing up, and it ended up coming back when he was a teacher. And so his health was not the greatest at the time that he was at Enterprise when I was there. He wasn't feeling good. He was always there for his students, and he always wanted to make sure that we knew somebody was there for us. Going away for academy can be a scary experience. And as a teenager, you're faced with things that you've never been faced with before. And Mr. G was that teacher that was there. He wasn't there to just teach history and English. He was there to build a relationship with his students. And he wanted to make sure that if it all possible, he was able to help them see Jesus more, he was going to do that. And I was actually able to see him after I graduated, and just being able to have that relationship with him after graduation meant a lot. So he definitely stood out, and he touched, I know, a lot of students at Enterprise Academy and in the Kansas-Nebraska conference, because I know he was in Wichita before he went to Enterprise. So.
Fantastic. I'll tell you, good teachers make a big difference in your life, don't they?
Yes,
That's
that is for sure.
that's for
When you're
sure.
so homesick and you have a teacher that's going to listen, it helps out a lot.
Yeah. Even if you want to go, plan to go, it's still being away from your family it's still hard, isn't it?
It
So,
is hard. Yeah.
so anyway, did were you able to go on tours or with the academy? Did you sing, play an
Yes.
instrument?
So I was in the band. I played the flute, and I was also in the bell choir all 4 years. I enjoyed the band, but I really loved the bell choir. And so we went on tour. And when Great Plains Academy started, we actually started touring up in Nebraska as well. And it's kind of neat because I grew up in the Panhandle of Nebraska, and so I was able to go to some of the churches that I used to go to up in Nebraska. And so it was neat to have that connection with the Kansas and Nebraska side of things, and being able to tour. It seems like everywhere I went, even in academy and now, I always end up finding somebody that I know or knows my family. And so I just love building relationships. So tours are really fun for me because I got to meet new people and also meet people that I had no clue that I actually knew or they knew of me. So it was really neat.
That great Adventist family that you can go
Yes,
just about anywhere and find somebody, at least if
somebody.
they at least know somebody that you know, and it
Yep.
makes it wonderful to be a part of this great family, and going
Yes.
to a Christian school like Enterprise Great Plains Academy is just one that extends that family, and
Yeah.
of course then Union College and all those, it just makes it even more special. So
Yes.
anyway, that's wonderful. Did you, when I went on tours, uh, one thing I liked was the potlucks. Uh, I don't know if that appealed to you. They probably didn't have macaroni and cheese pizza, but
No, no, but it was always nice because you did have potlucks, and even though we had really good cooks while I was at Enterprise, it was nice just to have a variety. And so, yes, potlucks were always something to look forward to. And just getting away from campus, it was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Let's join something so we can get away for a
yeah,
little bit.
exactly. I tell you, the potlucks that stand out in my memory is the ones in western Kansas,
Yeah.
around where your grandmother lives, and Garden City and all those. They always
Hmm.
have fantastic potlucks. So
Yeah.
not that they didn't, but they were extra special.
You never went hungry, that's for sure.
That's that's for sure. Uh, what would you say is your best experience being at the academy? Is there one that stands out? There may not be, but is there one that stands out?
And so for me, going to academy was, I mean, it was my destiny, obviously, to be going to Enterprise Academy. However, to be completely honest, when Great Plains Academy, we switched to Great Plains Academy, there's a lot of change that was going on, and nobody really knew the change that was happening. And so, as a junior, senior in high school, you're figuring out your own stuff. And then, when you have no clue what's going to happen with your school, it brings a lot of emotions, a lot of just uneasiness. But I was lucky enough to be able to make friends with a lot of people from the Enterprise Church. And so I ended up getting adopted out by several of the old ladies at the Enterprise Church. Um, those memories, if it wasn't for those ladies at the church, I don't know how well I would be able to survive at Great Plains Academy the last couple of years, just because there was a lot going on. But the relationships that I built with those ladies, like, they had already gone through uncertain times. And so they were able to mentor me through those uncertain times, and just being able to have that connections. And then I always enjoyed alumni weekends. It was a time when I could just be with the older generation, just be able to soak in the knowledge, the wisdom that they had. And so alumni weekends were very high weekends for me. Hence the reason why I've been on the alumni board since I graduated, and I'm still there today. I just love getting to know different generations. And so being able to see how the way they were, how Enterprise was when they were there, and just being able to get into their lives just for a weekend. I may never have seen those alumnus ever again, but I was able to see a glimpse of why they came back to a great school. And so I have those memories that will always last, of whether that be at the Enterprise Church or the alumni weekends. They were very special to me.
And you served for, was it 2 years or more than that as alumni president?
I was there for 2 years as the president.
2 years. Excellent job. People loved you. Uh, you
It
know,
was,
they really appreciate you, and I know I appreciate you also as a follower. And
yeah.
my sister was between, but anyway, really appreciate what you did then and what you're doing now. Might mention that you're kind of our historian, believe it or not, a young person being our historian, but kind of keeping up with what's happening in people's lives. And I guess since you're interested, since you love finding out and talking, I guess that's a regular fit, isn't it?
Yes, it's my joy. My husband actually didn't go to an academy, but I drag him to the alumni. And the first year that we went, I was like, okay, he's not going to enjoy this. He's going to think I'm crazy. And I was just dating him at the time. But now he looks forward to going to alumni with me too, and just getting to know people. And everywhere we go, we were traveling back from Oregon. I have spent a year out in Oregon this last year at Milo Academy, and we went out there, and we're traveling back, and I was at a gas station, and he comes out and he's like, well, why did it take you so long? And I said, oh, I just saw an alumnus from Enterprise, and I thought I knew who they were, and sure enough, I had. And he's like, we can't go anywhere without you knowing somebody from Enterprise. I was like, yeah, that's the connection that I want. I want like future generations to be able to have that connection with their high school as well, because at the end of the day, we were family, and it stretched for many, many years as building that family.
Well, that's great, and we really appreciate you and appreciate what you do to make the alumni work and the alumni do what it does. And we appreciate. Glad you're a part of the alumni board as we work
Thank
through
you.
this crazy time with COVID and all that good stuff. So thank you so much for being part of this. Thank you for taking the time to be interviewed.